Hey everybody, it's Jeff. This will be part 6 of the Roden Holt 75 artillery tractor in 1/35 scale. Made a bit of progress this week. Here's where we're at right now. The tracks and stuff are all just dry fitted. I'm not going to glue any of that stuff on until I get some painting done. But it's coming along. Okay. Um, it's still, everything's kind of loose on it, so I got to be careful with it. Just want to remind you guys that starting the 1st of March, there's going to be a commercial vehicle group build hosted by Jason at Model Kit Stuffs and Rob at Rims Models. I'm going to be building this, okay, for the group builds. If you guys are interested at all, I'll put links in the description so you guys can go take a look and see what they're wanting to do. Okay, but there's my entry right there. Okay, let's go down to the bench. Well, I spent a lot of time this week kind of organizing my paint. I've been getting quite a few different paints, and I've made up a spreadsheet and try to get everything organized where I can find stuff. I was having a hard time getting, when I needed to paint for a kid or something, finding what I was looking for. So I bought another paint rack and I put a spreadsheet together. I'll throw a picture up here just to show you what my paint rack and everything looks like. But let's go down to the bench and I'll show you what I did this week. And I hope you enjoy watching. Okay, be right back. In the last video, we completed most of step 14. Here's the engine here. I haven't really had a chance to do any more with it, but it's all nice and dry now. So let's go ahead and continue on with step 15. I've got some pieces I need to add to the front here, but painting I think is going to be easier to do before I add those. So we'll set that aside for now. And here's the few pieces that need to be added yet. We've got a couple of pipes and the fan belt and stuff. Okay, let's go look at step 15, which is a water tank. Okay, see if we can frame that any better. I guess that'll do. There is a row of rivets right here, if you see them on the top edge of the tank, and they were pretty much just lost in the seam lines. So I sanded them off and I'll have to recreate them. So here's the 4F, and it is keyed. There's a couple of holes here in this right there. I'm going to have to get rid of these glasses again. Okay, we can glue this. I'm going to have to work on the seams, and then I'm going to have to recreate the rivets again. We can go ahead and glue this now, though. And see which glue I want to use. This is the airbrush cleaner. Okay, we'll just kind of soften this up just a little bit. I might need to add a little more glue. The seams are not too bad. Make sure I'm on camera. Yeah, I think those will be fine. Maybe a little glue on the inside. Apparently the water runs, or antifreeze or whatever. I doubt they probably used any antifreeze this far back. Hard telling what they might have put in the radiator, but it ran through the radiator and then was in this tank. It might have been just for like overflow, but I think it was probably a holding tank. Okay, and then we've got a couple of ends to put on, but I want to get those seams fixed because these overlap. There's an edge there. I don't want to lose that edge when I'm sanding, so I'm not going to add those yet. So I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to go ahead and let this set up, and then I'll sand it, and then I'll recreate the rivets and stuff. So let's go ahead and set this part aside for now, and we'll move on to the next step, which is going to be this cradle. Back out here a little bit. The engine will set in this. So that'll be step 16. And I think I've got these all cleaned up. This is C1. And what is this one? C3. Okay, this is the other side. C2. Pretty easy to identify them. This is C6. This will be the front. And C7 go to the back. I mean C8, excuse me. And then C5 will be the bottom. There are a few ejector pin marks there, but I've sanded them pretty much out. Those will be visible on the bottom. Let me do just a little more sanding on those. Okay. Try and make this look as good as it can. I've still got several pieces I need to clean up. I was working on the roof. I've got it here. Let's see. These have got a lot of like seam mold lines down the sides of things. Took me quite a bit to clean those up, and there's still a little more to do. On the roof, I'm not sure if anybody has any ideas or not, but there's a rib that runs right down the middle of the inside. And since there's that rib, there's an ever so slightly little bit of sink. You can see it there. But this is kind of corrugated. And I really don't want to destroy the corrugations with any sandings. I may just have to leave that little bit of sink. I just as soon get rid of it, but I'm not sure if there's any way of doing it without destroying anything. If any of you guys have any suggestions, let me know in the comments. Okay? Well, I got a few more pieces that need cleaned up, but that one took me quite a while, and I still have just a little bit more to do. Okay, back on this. Just try and get the majority of that out. One thing I noticed about this kit, you got to be real careful with your sanding because there's so much to sand out, the parts get really thin if you're not careful. And you can almost sand them away. Okay. That pretty well got them. Okay. Okay, this will be to the front. A little bit of sanding dust there. So let's go ahead and get this put together. I haven't even test fitted it yet, so I may need to spend some more time. Looks like this goes here. And that does not quite set in the groove. I'm going to have to thin this just a little bit. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's check the back while we're at it. That one could stand a little bit also. Just a little bit of sanding dust. That's better. Okay, let's get those two parts on. Go that way a little bit. And the other side. There's going to be some rivets I'll have to recreate on here too. The molding is so bad that you pretty much just have to sand them off when you're cleaning things up. There's still some sink on this side that I just didn't go to the trouble of sanding all the way out because I don't think it's going to be seen. And it's going to make the parts thin. Okay, let's add, let's see, make sure I'm doing this correctly. We've got this that we'll need to add here. Okay, and I'm not sure if it goes over it or under it. Interesting. They don't really tell you. I say it's like so. Okay, let's get a little glue on there. And I'm not real sure. Thinking it's like that. Okay. And in this piece, sit here. That's a little too thick. There it is. I messed that up. I sure did. This goes up here. Okay. All right, that makes more sense. The instructions are not terribly clear. Hold it a second. That should do that. And then we've got one more piece which goes here. Okay, that fits pretty good. That's going to need a little. A little bit of the fit's not great. We'll get it. Might want to put a clamp on that for just a little while. I think it's going to stay. Okay, there's our base. The engine's going to sit in this. And it will be like so. Okay, I can see where that's going to need some work. That's how our engine's going to sit. It's going to take some fitting. Then that round tank is going to go on that side. And then this is probably going to take some fitting also. This will sit here somewhere, somehow. Okay. That'll go there. Come on. Okay. This will go here, and this will go here. And we're getting there. This will go here. And this will sit, let's see, no, that's not correct. This will sit here. And this will sit here. Okay. I'll put some pictures up at the end. That's kind of how that's looking. So I still got to get the radiator, and then we've got the transmission and the controls and the fenders. So let's go ahead and work on the fenders while this is setting up good. I'm going to have to do some re-riveting and things. That's just not, I'm going to have to put a clamp on that. Okay, well, hang on a sec. That'll do it. Not quite, maybe. Not quite. Let's see. I know I've got clamps that'll hold that. Okay, that'll do it. Always good to have a few clamps around. Okay, let's set this aside, let it dry good, and we'll get to work on some fenders. Let's see here. On 17, back up a little bit. The fenders come in this kind of a folded or unfolded state. So I need to fold these down, and I'm going to use the hair dryer just to soften the plastic a little bit. I want to make sure that I don't crack anything. So let me do that. I'll do it off camera. It's noisy and it's going to take a few minutes. So I'll be right back. We'll get these folded. I've got the fenders folded. Try and say that 3 times real fast. Something I ran across. When you fold these, in order to get a nice even curve here, the joint doesn't come together. There's a real wide gap there. And so it makes the joint really, really fragile. So I thought about putting some stretch sprue in the joint, and I decided to go ahead and put some sprue goo in there to fill the joint. So I'm going to have to wait for that to set up, because these joints are really, really soft, really, really fragile right now. But I got them both bent, and it did kind of stress the plastic and leave a little mark, but it's not going to show up under the paint. This one here warped just a little bit. You can see, maybe you can. Okay, I put them side by side and tried to make sure that the curves were the same. I put some weights on them, like so. Fact is, I've got these backwards. This is how it goes. So I might need to go ahead and set these aside to try and make sure that they're as close to the same as I can. Okay, so I'll go ahead and put these over off to the side somewhere, and I'll put a little weight on there, and I'll set these like this so that the sprue goo when it sets up. Hopefully the fenders will be uniform anyway. So let me do that real quick. I can do it with the camera running. I'm just going to set it over here in my paint area. Shouldn't take a second. And then we'll move on to something else. I didn't think about it, but me moving this far over, maybe you can't even hear me on the microphone. Okay. Let's see. Put something on for a little weight. Okay. Okay. I'll show you later. I just, over to the left where I got my paint stuff, I went ahead and did that. While I was messing with that, I got the joints all sanded on this, and I put the ends on. So they'll go, the cradle sits here, and this will sit in here like this. I'm not real happy with these joints. I sanded them as flush as I could, but they're still got a little bit of gap. So I'm going to do some work with Mr. Surfacer, and then I've got to recreate a row of rivets right here. So I'm not going to do that on camera. That's really tedious to do. But anyway, that's where we're at on that. And this is how everything's going to kind of sit together. It kind of, I'll have to look at the instructions. It's kind of funny that there's a gap right here. But I'll see how the instructions show. But anyway, we'll set this all aside and we'll move on. There's a little more we can do today. I sanded the joints on these. I'm going to recreate some rivets on this too that were just pretty much lost in the flash. Okay, and let's go ahead and go on. I'm going to wait on 17 until those joints are really good and firm, and then I've got some braces to put on and a step on the front and the back. And the engine will go in here, but I want to do some painting first, which is coming really soon. So let's move on to 19, which is putting the front idler wheels on. I've got all the parts ready to go for that. And let's see there, 17, 18, part 19, there we go. Okay, let's move this up just a little bit more. Kind of hard to see the whole thing at one time. We'll kind of give that a little try. I haven't tried fitting these yet. So this is a pin for the rear for towing, so that I really don't need to put on. That's A24. This is A11. I'll have to move up here a little bit. So that'll go on this side. A10. A26 be to the outside of both of these. Okay, just making sure it all looks correct. So that's going to go here. This is D29. These will be on the inside. These parts took so long to clean up. And these are D25s, which will go to the outsides. And then the wheels. Okay. And these wheels, if I remember correctly, there's an inside and an outside. I think the only difference is there was some ejector pins the inside that I cleaned up as well as I could. But that is how that's going to go. So let's see what we can do about getting this together. The way it's showing is they want you to build that all with the, and kind of like inside the track, which I'm not going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that together, and then I'm going to paint the tracks, and I'm going to wrap the tracks, and then I'll probably put the one joint in each track will be glued toward the bottom where you can't see it. It'll make it so much easier to paint. So let's see here what we got going on. These will go, if I'm, make sure I'm looking at this correctly. Okay. Instructions really don't help. Okay. Well, let's try this one. I see a little bit of a pin I need to clean up on there. So this one goes here. Okay, let's put a little glue. This one will go, doesn't look correct. That looks like that side. Yeah, I've got these backwards, whether it's the instructions or me. And the pin is completely missing. Okay. I'm going to have to grab my tweezers. I did a cleanup the other day and put everything away. Now I need to get everything out again. Some tweezers. Okay. Just checking to make sure. Those go. Which way did they go? No. Maybe I was right the first time. Yeah. Right there. But there is no locating pin. The locating pin is not molded in. Makes it kind of interesting. That's where it goes. And these okay, I'll go like this. There's no way I'm going to try and make this thing to where it turns. Just be happy that I can get it in the right place. Okay, and this is going to set, oops, and knock it off before I ever get there. going to sit here. Just like so. And it looks like my wheels canted to one side a little bit. I'll have to fix that. I got a little sink mark right there I'll have to fix. That's how that goes. That's not too bad. And then go here. Okay. Okay. And then so we'll put that on first. Don't forget, guys, we got that group build, commercial vehicle build coming up 1st of next month. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm planning on getting into it, and I hope you guys too. Okay. And this goes in here. Okay. Hold your breath. We're a little crooked. Whoops. Those pins are just a little short. I might have them, yep, and I have it backwards. Okay. So what I want to do, uh-oh, neighbor's dog's barking. Flip that around. Okay, oh, that's much better. Okay, that's got the wheels on. That should be step 19, all except for that little hitch that I'll put on there later. And I'm not going to do 20 yet. I want to let those fenders set up real good. So I'm probably going to call it good for today. I've got to get the radiator and some fuel tank put together and a few other little supports and stuff and the roof. And then we're pretty much done. We got a few little controls and things. So anyway, guys, I really appreciate you joining me. I've been having a lot of fun doing this. I got a lot more stuff planned, and we'll talk to you real soon. Okay, bye-bye.